Welcome back to Auction Not Included for our beginner's guide. So last video we kind of went over pips planting, kind of the benefits of that. And then we got this nice little combination pip ranch and arbor tree farm. Made these nice nature reserves, and we can see like our dupes on base are living the highlight, like 40 morale. Very happy. We'll see for some of the things here that maybe some of these skills we don't need for what I'm going to have some of these dupes doing, but for now, they're living the high life. Besides that there, we did get our first batch of wood, so we have upgraded to a banquet hall here with communal table. And then over on Greasona, we have the table built. We just need to get a ornament of some type. Unfortunately, I don't have any more kind of free ones out in the world. Is there one on Greasona? I just didn't see. No. So a lot of them you just find points of interest on planets or by doing various story traits. But we'll probably pick one up in the next project. Besides that there, a couple updates and things. You know, so it's been about 50 cycles. I have set up a new kind of enclosed Dreco ranch. Nothing really original here. This is the design from GC Funkas's tutorial bites. Just the one thing I did change in that guide that I didn't like with theirs is I moved these conveyor loaders further up. That way eggs leave faster. This ranch is only set for 7 just because temps are kind of weird here. I had to heat it up to make sure the balm lilies are growing. So I do just have this set for 7 critters till temps kind of get stable. Similarly here, you'll notice the water here. Temps here are a bit weird. We just put a temp shift plate for ice down here. With 58 tons of plastic, realistically, probably don't need glossy Drecos anymore. We probably have more than enough plastic to quote-unquote beat the game. We're just waiting for stuff to move over there, and I'm just ranching, just overflowing there. I'm not worrying about a kill chamber. It is a little in the way for probably this volcano later, but once I get through kind of the basics of here's what you need to get through the imperatives, the various imperatives, these are kind of the way you win the game. This is what we're working towards. There are tons of other things we can do, but they are not required for getting these. Besides there, I have made a actual full Rodriguez just to help with oxygen flow, more specifically for getting our spaceships fueled, just because it takes, if we were only running the one overflow line, it takes a very long time to fill these. With 3 of these now, it'll still take a while. It'll take a couple cycles because it's just overflow, but now we can load up about 3 times as much. We have built 2 more rockets. I did change our colonization rocket a little bit to include a trailblazer, just because depending on when we want to go to Toxona, I don't want to worry about this being buried. It's more of just a safety precaution. If we were doing full planet landings, then I would do the 2 to land, and then probably have to add a wheel in here somewhere. Then we've also set up an exploration rocket, so I just have 3 solar panels for power. We'll get some power from the steam engine, and then I included some, there's probably more artifact transport modules that we need, but this is just so we can grab some artifacts from space points of interest. So there, with the exploration rocket, the only thing you'd really have to change, I've designed this here for 2 dupes, and then we do have, same thing, our mess hall, washroom, and barracks for morale bonuses, because we can include the telescope in our great hall. Unless I put 2 snipe buildings, it's not going to get confused. Same with our washroom. Then we just moved our rocket control down. None of that is almost identical to our colonization rocket. Besides that there, we put 5k of plastic in here so they can make data collection while they're traveling. And then also the telescope here so they can start exploring tiles, so we can start looking for the outer planets to push us to some of the end game goals. The food here, I'm I've told them just fill it with, we put 50k of berry sludge in here. It's more because I just don't want to worry about the food here, so we're going to use berry sludge. This rock is going to be coming back and forth a lot. We could be using the more preservative food, probably without any issues. So the pickled meal we still have laying around and the grapefruit preserve we've been making. I'm just going to put berry sludge on one to make this simpler. We are also putting in rad pills, just because they are going to be in our rockets here. I think I have set up the radiation blocking in the appropriate places. So the point of interest for the telescope is here. They shouldn't get a lot of rads. It's more for the data collection. But I think their rads are going to be fine here. So we will send them off. I think they're going to have morale issues. And I'm specifically setting them up that way to see if we have that there. So our exploration team for the first trip, they are going to be going to Grisona, partly to explore some area around here. But you may have noticed we do have this hydrogen here. Because over on Grisona, some kind of make work jobs I've given them. I did include some cooling for the base. And then we did set up food storage. So they will just start making some bog jelly so there's food here. Besides that, I put the wheels at 40%. They're kind of the highest for our power option. Just so they've done better to do, just generate power for the grid. There's a lot of nothing going on here. Things are getting a little toasty here, but not that big of a deal. Besides that there, I need to probably get a ranching booster over here and then just set a platform of mesh tiles to move these slicksters down to them. I would like to avoid the slicksters going extinct. They have a habit of drowning in stuff like this. Deconstructor tiles there. Is there anything else we kind of went in the waiting for rockets to fuel? Really it. We do have all their stuff planted here because we did get our other arbor tree. But anyway, let's get into actual space exploration projects now. So there are two things. So I have set our crews. So we have Meep, Devon, and John as our crew for the colonization rocket. So they're a lot more skilled than they probably need to be. We're going to see if that's going to be an issue for where they're going. They should have reasonably good morale and stuff. And right now they're just going to be doing a lot of exploring. So we can always scrub them. But a lot of the stuff I have on Devon is not needed at the moment. I don't need these later science skills. I don't even need mechatronic at the moment. But I'm going to need a mechatronic later. Same with John. John, I gave some doctor skills to kind of help with making the rad pills. John really just needs digging, and then same with Meep. Meep has good building, good digging, but I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of mechatronic at the moment. Similarly, for research, I only have one dedicated researching dupe, which is Nicola. Another dupe that would probably be good on the exploration, but I needed scientists at the moment while we're doing exploring in databanks. Otherwise, I would put him on the colonization team because he has digging and he has research to analyze kind of the geysers and stuff once we get to them. And then we also have Catalina going over, just because Catalina also has researching. I did make sure I did have other cooks in reserve while we waited for that. So let's summon our first crew. So we're going to get our crew. Send them over to Grisona to deliver the hydrogen so that we can set up infinite storage. And we get our launch sequence. But with the exploration rocket, we are just going to leave them in the suits for kind of this first trip. Then we have them just working on orbital data, and then they'll also work on the telescope. So with our colonization rocket, we do need food. We're going to set this to 50k, and they're going to be working on grubfruit preserve, probably a little simpler thing of the time you would be doing rockets. So same thing, we're going to tell them, hey, take this grubfruit preserve out. I also want to fix my consumables. so that Nicola and Catalina are allowed to have rad pills. When you start producing rad pills, disable consumption. Your dupes like to just eat them like candy. There we go. So we got our 50 Grove Preserve. So like looking out here, yeah, where it is refrigerated, it will last like 50 cycles. We're probably not going to be there that long. All right, so then we're going to set this up at a 9. And I'm not bringing any material over at the moment because specifically I just want this team exploring. So the goal right now, we want to find all of our geysers on Toxona. And then we can kind of figure out a plan from there. Wait. Okay, we got all our stuff here, so let's summon our crew. The big thing we got to keep an eye on is just that we're not losing power off this battery module. There we go. So with this one here, I don't want to set it to grounded, because this will just kind of be... Oh, I did mess up one thing. Let's turn our dock back on. An issue I think I did mess up here is we are kind of low on reed fibers, so we're going to be working against suit durability. But we'll wait for those to get up. We might be able to get a lot of... Yeah, we got a 4% dude. That's an error on my part. Usually the thing I should be bringing on these is you want to bring reed fibers so you can throw down an exosuit forge. That is fine. Well, not for next time. We're trying to restock our reed fiber anyway. Unfortunately, everything here's a little too hot. Same. A lot of the places I would plant reed fiber is a little toasty. Could get away in here, maybe. It's to 37 degrees. Another thing we did is I did move our Pacu into our water tank. Something I should have done a while ago. So this should keep our Pacu alive now. We're not worried about taming them at the moment. Let's just make sure I still have Pacu for the foreseeable future. Help with our reed fiber. Throw down... Let's just throw down another set here. Turn this polluted water. And I do just have a bad mix of regular and conductive wire, but that's just because we got a ton of copper after cleaning this out. So we're just waiting for our rocks to get to various places to do their things. We're mostly going to be landing here and then dropping off the hydrogen gas. And I don't want... Nicola or Catalina going into the space. They're kind of just going to leave the thing and then they'll launch back into space. I don't have extra docks set up here. But yeah, these meteor showers are kind of why I put the... Trailblazer down. So we'll take a couple cycles for the rocket to get there, but it will be exploring... Checking out various things on the telescope. Okay, because I know I'm not letting them out of the rocket. Let's take these suits off. But we can see here we are having... Yeah, it is a thing that changed with stress. So they do get a morale bonus for being in space. They get +2 for thrilling flight, but they also get a stress. But if we check our crew here, so we can still see we're still pretty high on our morale. Our colonization rocket, so we can see John is having issues. Yeah, it is cold in here due to a lot of material I built. So we will probably want to throw down a skill scrubber on Toxona. We'll set their skills to just the essentials they need. They also have a little more issue of radiation here, but once they land on the planet, that should be less of an issue. And we're just waiting for people to get where we need them. It's very much we have more or less everything we need to do stuff at this point. We have water. We have excess water still. We have pretty much food solved. Morale is basically a non-issue. It's just weird, fiddly resources we got to work with. So it's like getting a better setup to loop reed fiber so we can keep repairing our Atmos suits. This power plant is going to last a very long time. And then we could always start looping in petroleum power later, which we will do. Probably going to be the next big project. We'll be setting up kind of a industrial sector because our steel production is very much being stifled by our coolant being too warm now. If we were to make steel, we risk our pipes flashing. But like this biome held for quite a while before that became an issue, so now we need to set up a better steel production. Okay, so we are on Toxona now. The first thing we want to do, this is not set to grounded. Okay. We got aluminum and gold here. I think what we're going to do, throw down a very basic... And then stations. We're going to get a skill scrubber. John's having issues. There, maybe our morale's fine. So we'll get this down just so we have it. Give it a weird vacuum section here. There we go. We'll keep an eye on our stress. Our stress should be a lot better now that we're not in space. We can see John was having the issues, but now they have very good morale. So let's start trying to find our various resources. Just so we're not causing issues with having too much stuff vacuum out. Get a door built here. Just so we don't have stuff vacuuming out. And we know it takes about a cycle to get back, so we have quite good leeway. Our food will last about 30 cycles. Yep. Our auction will last much longer than that. Just to help with material, we will be digging this out on the side. So I do want to watch out for these satellites while we are traveling around, just to avoid spiking radiation. We do have a saltwater geyser here. Can dig. Actually, no. We're not going to go that way because of the way door scanning works. We're going to go over this way. Should be able to scan on this side. If not, then we got to come around. To save some travel time, we want to make sure that when we are building ladders here, we want to pick material that is around where we're building. Slowly getting there, yeah. So it's a thing, like I said, where I have the artifact module, like I could stop at these ore fields, this satellite, grab the artifacts, which we will do on a separate trip. Everything here is working well. Our main issue here is I'm going to be limited by Atmos suits. Is a little annoying. We get this all up and running, then we'll be fine. Just taking a while for our Drecos to get up to capacity. I had a good amount, but I made more suits to kind of maximize. And see, I was a little slow on getting the overflow for the spawn, so we got a little more hydrogen in the base. It's not a big issue. We keep digging down. We're just looking to see where our geysers are. And also see how far to the bottom of this planet. So it is not very wide. So now I'd want to start building ladders out of sediment rock. Okay, so we got a aluminum volcano here. Another security door. Also start to dig across here. Just want to avoid the satellite. It's a very weird spawn shape. Okay, and then we're seeing our uranium biome as well. Go, we got a gold volcano here. There is lots of metal around. Is the thing we could be telling our dupes, like, hey, bring this metal back. For now, we're just want to see where the bottom is, or at the very least, I want to find where our radiation is. Because I believe there are betas on this planet. Yeah, so in the radioactive biome, we will find betas. You can see we are exploring stuff as we go around. And what beetles will let us do is all the raw uranium ore we're finding, they will eat it. Turn it into a rich enrich uranium, which is a very, very efficient way to generate rad bolts later. But they like it cold, so I want to avoid breaking their biome. I'll just random stuck beta in the frozen carbon dioxide. Another... No, that's... No, okay, so we got 2 aluminum volcanoes. We got a gold volcano. Want to deconstruct that, just so my dupes aren't working on it. You can see stress is very much not an issue once we're not flying, just due to thrilling flight. Our exploration one is also fine. Some carbon dioxide geysers. They don't really do much. It's a good way to kind of put your betas asleep. Okay, we have seen the bottom. Unfortunately, it looks like so far it looks like all our only betas might be trapped, which is a problem. They're not an easy critter to move around. Okay, so we got 2 gold volcanoes, 2 aluminum. We're looking for our copper volcanoes. The other type here. We'll finish digging down here. This will give us kind of the bottom of the planet. But the reason with betas you want to leave them wild, they will eat all this uranium ore, and then unlike the uranium centrifuge, they will 1-to-1 make it enriched uranium. So it is a very powerful kind of mid to late game research and power source. We'll kind of get our bearings here. They're not the fastest rockets. But this will get more data banks so we can start progressing our research again. Do have another satellite here. Okay, we got a buried copper. Yeah, copper. The aluminum and like the gold ones spawn in this like metal biome, and then the copper is usually just on the map. Is there anything else? There's a chlorine vent somewhere. There's a polluted water vent somewhere. There's at least 2 more geysers we need to find. Not found any more betas. Gonna help with exploring. It might be worth for us to kind of, if we have a lot of time left here, we could just get all this metal dug out and then ship it back. But I think not really hurting for any of the metals. Do have our Poca shells here. I want to avoid them getting loose, so I just don't have to worry about my dupes randomly getting punched. I'll explore around. I'm mostly looking to see, can we get a free artifact around here? Where our other water geyser would be. All right, perfect. So we did our hydrogen gas. Okay. The easier thing for me to do for dropping it off is actually probably just, we're going to cancel this relocate. We're going to relocate it to here. Ah, because I have a taller rocket now. Relocate, we'll drop this down to a 6. Our bionics will build the stuff very quickly. Okay, cool. We got everything down here. So let's go... Not bomb lilies, thimble reeds. Copy our settings. No, and then Catalina. There we go. So we got that down on our ship. So let's summon our crew back. Hydrogen gas, we can go relocate to here. And then because we want to be making data banks, we're just going to go. We're going to head just straight back now for safety. We only have a supply of 5. Because we're able to move 10 tiles, but we got to make sure we can go back. I think I could push the travel a bit more by running less modules. There we go. So let's hydrogen gas. Perfect. Deconstruct this bridge. And then we can now power our cooling here. Then we're just going to set this to be bog buckets. Don't empty the storage. I want to cancel empty. Plant. There we go. We got some bog buckets. We're going to set this to be edibles and cooking ingredients, and we will allow manual delivery. Then take our fridge, put a fridge here, and a fridge here. There we go. I did fill this one just with carbon dioxide because it was just easier to kind of run from the old rocket line. There we go, and they'll just keep exploring out. We're getting limited by our... Is annoying with our... Got here for this geyser. There's our chlorine. Is annoying with our betas. All our betas have spawned kind of trapped. Is awkward. Okay. Now we'll put our ladder here. We'll start working up that way. So we're mostly limited by by the Atmos suits failing out. That was a bit of a mismanagement on my part, but this is more of a kind of get the bearings where stuff are, and then we kind of have to fix our industrial things to start making steel, because we're going to need a lot of steel to do these volcanoes, depending on what method we want to use. We're going to try some different things. We're to dig it up, try to find our other water source. Hard. Everything is very... Why is everything so cold here? It'd be cold enough for... to freeze. Oh, is this my polluted water vent? Oh, there it is. Completely missed it. So we have found all our stuff. We get everything else explored while we are here. Here we are. We're slowly getting ahead on... our... reed fiber. So we'll take a good amount of that. We can send them back with reed fiber and the other kind of material we need to build things. Set up more long-term projects here. Well, this is the thing about Spaced Out that, like, the two things that kind of mess with people in the changes of vanilla to Spaced Out, besides the research of needing to do material science to get the steam turbine, not having renewable metal on the starting planet. Some people really don't like that, but you're encouraged to go to space. Your radiation planet is always within, like, range of the carbon rocket, and it will, at minimum, have 3 metal volcanoes on it. So metal is very much a non-issue once you get to space. We'll need to get an iron volcano, which is kind of the next thing we're looking for. That's what our exploration rocket's going to be doing. Just to help. Nicola, a lot more skills than he probably needs, but help get our piling better so they travel a little faster. I think with steam, it's not the fastest of rockets. The other problem with where now I kind of just have a dupe stuck in here, radiation might be an issue long term. The thing to keep in mind when working on some stuff, like, I guess surface radiation is not that bad here, but I want to be aware if I'm working near these satellites to not not extend too much. But a thing, there is a lot of excellent fruit around here, so even if I did stay here too long and my preserves started going bad, then there is kind of food here as a stopgap I could grab. We get up to here, we should have everything explored for this planet. I like where this is entombed. I'm very concerned about my betas probably going extinct with kind of how they spawned. It's because there's this super chilled core here. Because they only like -50. That is a problem. Yeah, it is way too cold here, so... we'll try to do some stuff to help with that, because I really don't want the betas to go extinct. It's going to be annoying to get them back here. Just everything kind of spawned a bit rough. Because I'm only seeing the two. See if we can get that problem solved. Guess this biome went... shouldn't be this cold. Or they're usually not this cold. And let's dig over to here. Is there maybe a better beta we could get? Okay, there we go. We got a beta hive here. Okay, this hive should be okay then. It might be a little cranky with the temperature. But this one should be okay then, because it's not frozen yet anyway. Hopefully it doesn't entomb. Just ended up with this massive ice core. Okay, and then I guess to kind of help with it, let's go over here. We're going to put a airlock here. Try to dig out this one. I'm shocked it's this cold. Usually not that cold, but I think there's usually like breaks in the abyss light to help with it. We'll get this one dug out, and then hopefully they work without issue. Does help if I put ladders here. Bioscan. I think both of them are set up. I have to be on the other side. It's weird how they spawned. I guess this saltwater geyser is going to slowly heat everything up. But yeah, the entire reason like berry sludge is good is berry sludge lasts forever. Okay, there we go. We got some reed fiber again. Wait for that to build up before we kind of send a team here to start building the infrastructure we need. Because out of these volcanoes, gold, if we're only going to have enough material for one before we have to consider our iron limit is an issue, gold will be the most useful. And the reason why is gold is used for supercoolant, gold is used for bleachstone, and gold is used for oxalite. Mainly these two resources. Because we're going to want oxalite for switching from steam to petroleum rockets. And then supercoolant is the only space material you really need to finish the imperatives. The other ones are all just kind of nice to have. We'll get this one analyzed just because we're here. There we go, so we got a bee tiny. And I mostly just want to avoid uranium while I'm digging this out. Because if we dig uranium, we're only going to get half mass. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to dig these out just so... Not ideal, but I need this to not be flooding and our bean hiney not to die. Unfortunately, the bee tiny is going to be very cold. We're also going to do... Will hopefully help them a little bit. We'll get some heat into here. Third is body temp, but this will make it so these are considered separate rooms, so they should build another hive here. Just hopefully that all works out. I think this hive might be able to get itself going. This one unfortunately trapped itself. This one I'm concerned about the temp and stuff, but just kind of bad spawns for the betas. It's not something we need. It's more of a nice to have. Then the other thing we're going to do is let's queue up a bunch of dig commands for some later stuff. I don't know if we're going to work on that while we're here now, but we'll get this all dug out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just so we have something to do while we're waiting to get the one geyser analyzed. They're definitely not going to have time to dig this all out. We'll get this all cleared out so that when we come back and want to work on the volcanoes, all the stuff will be out of the way. Just want to make sure we don't uncap them. So they are revealed, but we do know, I believe, yeah, kind of the central tile. It'd be a little hard with these volcano spawns to tell, like, where the safe tile is. And then I'm just going to put this up to a 9 to make sure it's getting analyzed. The sleeping's happening because betas are like bees, obviously. So if you give them CO2, they will eat the CO2 and then... there we go. So we got another hive going. Hopefully that'll... Unfortunately, everything is still very cold. At least with the 2 hives, it should keep them alive. And then I actually have to worry about trying to heat things up. Weird. I've never had that problem with betas. The problem with betas is usually trying to keep them cold. There we go. So we'll have them work on this until kind of their suits fail. Alright, so our exploration rocket is back. So because of that there, let us... Okay, everyone did get back into base fine. We're just going to be waiting for these... Tell them to re-deliver these Atmos suits. No, just a ladder. It's fine. I'm not taking more dupes at the moment. We will kind of have a big recruitment drive later where we move into kind of more advanced stuff for some things. But there. So our rocket did get back. So now what we want to do is fuel it. And then where I think we're going to go next. Remember, we always want to go 5. We're going to go here so we can grab this artifact. Just kind of want to explore around our planet. Start finding some of the outer planetoids. You can see we do fill this much faster now. Where we have the 3 kind of excess lines going. Takes a little to fill the steam engine, but that is fine. If I was just doing this as a data collection rocket, I think I could... Yeah, I'd take this telescope and I could just put atmosuit docks here to make traveling a bit easier, but we'll just do the thing of... Okay, so we're down to 1 atmosuit. I think that's a good point to... We're gonna send this back for a refuel. Remember, I gotta select from here. Set this as round trip, just so I don't have to keep readjusting it, and then we'll summon our crew. And head back. Make this Pip very unhappy. I'm just going to disable this because all the suits broke. There we go. We got a nice deep freeze here for food if we do have to set up like a secondary rocket point. So our rocket did get filled. So we're gonna summon our crew back. And send them out to the point of interest so they can get that we got a few too many atmosuits here. We'll need to clean that. Make sure we clean all that out next time. But we have extra atmos anyway. We'll go here. We can grab these 2 ornaments. Fortunately, you can't send ornaments through the teleporter, so we'll probably have to make another delivery trip to Grisona. And there we go. Like, we have lots of data banks, so we can probably start our research again as well once we're done exploring. Kind of funny with this rocket, I'm having issues of it being too cold, and generally I have problems of my rockets being too hot. Temps should be normalizing a little better now, I hope. We'll just wait for everyone to kind of get back and then plan out kind of our long-term project there. Is we're going to need a lot of steel. We're going to need steel, we're going to need plastic, we're going to need refined metals. We're going to need lots of stuff. Before that there, we have to be able to make steel again, so it's going to be getting kind of an industrial zone made, which I think is just going to replace where we have this whole system set up. Because right now, they're running a little bit. Probably get this all cleared out and then make a better kind of industrial area over on this side. Fix our battery banks so we can work the two separate colonies and then readjust from there. Great. We do want to set our colonization rocket back to grounded now. Get it refueled. And then just so we're not wasting, like, it will last a while, but go put our grub fruit reserve back to deep freeze. It'll be a little bit before we go back, so we don't want to waste any of this. Due to the suits failing. And cancel the requests up here. Get our worn Atmos suits put away. There we go. We have this to go back once we kind of get our supplies, and we can start trying to get these volcanoes dealt with. But before that there, we need to up our steel production. We got enough to kind of set up the system, I'm thinking. It's just, we gotta find a place to put it. But we have kind of exhausted this ice biome. We're gonna run the issues of our coolant flashing now. So what we're gonna set up is kind of like a self-powered metal refinery in the next video, and probably just some future industrial projects. Could also just start running this polluted water. In through our main water plant as well. But yeah, now we're kind of starting to move from mid to late game. We're still kind of mid-game. We're not 100% fully self-reliant, but we are getting to the point that we want to start looking to the other planetoids, looking to our space material. But at this point, the only... We have food. We have all the food we need. Our food is fully self-sustainable. Our oxygen is self-sustainable. Power is more or less self-sustainable. Like this plant eventually will have issues, but I mean, we probably got a good 1,000 cycles before this can't run. But even then, we could set up, and we'll set it with part of our industrial is take some oxalate. Set up kind of a long-term industrial zone, which is going to be kind of like one part of it's going to be adding to the power spine, and then kind of solving the things of working at large-scale production, which is going to be multiple metal refineries, petrol generators that we got to cool, our natural gas, a lot of kind of more advanced systems. We're probably going to put over here, and just different ways we can kind of take advantage of setting up the heat and whatnot. But that is for next episode. For now, we got the basic space exploration, so it's just going to be the thing of sending this rocket out, kind of grabbing the points of interest, just because I never think to grab them in the process, and then explore out everywhere we can that's within 5 tiles of our main planet. Potentially we could reach a bit further where we do have a base on Greasona. We could add a fueling dock and also get 5 tiles out from Greasona. But we'll start seeing what some of these unknown objects are, see what we can find for our outer planets on Steam Power. And then we also have our colonization rocket. We just need colonization supplies, and we can start taking advantage of Toxona. Because our only limiting factor to anything right now is metal. We have a lot of it still. We did get a lot clearing this out, and we cleared more of this out. Do have lots. We're more into an issue of processing it. Because I can make a lot of steel once we get going. But we need to move to a permanent metal and glass forge production. Not so much glass forge, but we'll set up glass forge as well. But yeah, that's kind of the basics of your mid-game space, the collecting various things. Next video, we'll go over kind of setting up an industrial brick, the pros and cons, things to consider, and then cleaning up some of the stuff over here for our power and whatnot. But that is it for this episode. Thank you for watching.